Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I'm just getting to my seat. Anyway, good morning. Happy Thursday. This is the 21st day of April. This is the 79th episode of season 3 of the Be Your Own Hero show. Hero, as the hoodie says, is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action that I discovered during the pandemic. I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I am a professional creative, which means I do a bunch of different things, a bunch of different creative things. And I'm also the creator of the Hero Ministry movement. That's my effort to uplift and inspire people in general, and specifically the unhoused community. So join me here Monday through Friday, 8:45 a.m. Central, 9:45 a.m. Eastern, 7:45 a.m. Mountain Time, to hear about my journey of becoming my own hero, and specifically my own financial hero. So I hope this show feeds you in some way. If it does, please like, please comment, and please share. Shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this platform to talk about my journey. And if you'd like to make a donation to New Thought Media Network, their website is N as in Nancy, T as in Thomas, media.org. It is a 501c3 nonprofit, so you can contribute there. All right, quick disclaimer. I am not a personal trainer, nor am I a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence and just take what I say with a grain of salt. This is my journey, my experience. I'm simply sharing with you the things that have worked for me, and in many cases, the things that have not worked. And as I said recently, this has become a financial literacy show for artists like myself and retirees, because artists and retirees have a lot of free time, have similar schedules. Okay, so all that said, let's get into some Hero Ministry Movement news. Shout out to the people popping in the chat. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Tim. Oh, so that's where you were going. I saw your wheels up photo on social media, Tim, going to Florida. It must be nice. Must be nice to be in Florida. It's cold. That's not cold, but it's raining here in Nashville. Anyway, so Hero Ministry Movement news. Let's start with the run streak. So today is day 325, and I am going to show you today's run report. I got it up kind of late, so in case you missed it elsewhere, you can watch it right here live. So, as I say often, I don't fully remember what I said, but I know it was about the hoodie. So let's find out together what I said a few minutes ago. Here we go. Run streak day 325. Little bit of an experiment today. Well, first of all, I've been running every day, at least a mile a day for now 325 days in a row. Yes, that's consecutive. Consecutive days in a row, 0 days off. Only 3 days have I run indoors. 3 out of 125. Yep, all the rest have been outdoors in the elements, no matter what the elements are. As you can see, it's raining today, but drizzle. Anyway, a little bit of an experiment today. I have my Hero hoodie on, as you see. I haven't worn my Hero hoodie in a while doing a run, but since I'm on this taper down, I wanted to see what it felt like to run a mile in the Hero hoodie. Now, mind you, I've run many miles in the Hero hoodie, but that was before I started dressing as a runner. So this was an experiment in going back. Is today Thursday? It's Throwback Thursday. So this is a throwback, me wearing the heavy gauge hoodie while running. And I only did a little over a mile. I think like 1.25, just a little over a mile. And I am hot. I don't know how I did this all these many days. I don't know how I ran in this all these many days. But now that I dressed like a runner with, fabrics that wick away the moisture, lightweight fabrics, I was a beast. I was a beast running in this heavy thing for miles on miles on miles. Wow. Tip of the hat to the old me. Tip of the hat. I was after it. Wow. Anyway, that said, do I have a run story today? I already mentioned the taper down. The taper down is what you do in advance of a run. Apparently, that's what I've been told. So that's what I've been doing. I gotta tell you, it's been challenging. It's been challenging because my body kind of feels like, what are we doing? We got to run extra miles. What are we doing? What's with this 1 mile thing?
That's how my body feels. It's crazy. My body feels restless almost. So maybe that's part of the strategy. You go up high in terms of mileage and then taper down so that your body's restless and ready to run on race day. I don't know, maybe. But it's been a little more challenging than I thought to come down to 1.5 miles, which I never thought I'd say, right? I never thought I'd be saying something like that, but it's true. So anyway, that's what I got. Antoine told me that it's going to feel like, why did I even get dressed? Why did I even get dressed? Because it goes by so fast, 1 mile. So I think today was like, I don't know, 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes when you're used to 30, it's a big difference. So anyway, let me get inside, get ready for my show. The Be Your Own Hero show is a financial literacy show for artists and retirees. Check it out Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern, 8:45 a.m. Central on the New Thought Media Network. You can follow along on Facebook and YouTube. Someone asked me yesterday, why am I not on Facebook? It's not my main Facebook page. It's my other Facebook page. So you just go to the link in the bio, but it is on Facebook. It's just not on my profile page. Or just go to YouTube. Probably easier to go to YouTube, and all the previous episodes are there. All right, I'll see you soon. Later.
Okay, so that last little bit was for you, Simone. I figured out what you were saying yesterday about the Facebook page. Yeah, it's not on my main profile. It's on what's called the sekouwrites page. So if you're looking for it on Facebook, you would go to Facebook and type literally sekouwrites page. It's over there. Otherwise, it's probably easier just to find and follow the link. And you might be watching me on Rev Mel's Facebook page. So that's kind of the point. Like, there are multiple ways to get to the stream. Like, I can see only a few of you on my screen, and I don't know where you're watching from. So anyway, if you're trying to get to my specific Facebook page, just type in sekouwrites page. Oh, great. Simone is saying that she found it. Okay. All right, I can stop talking about that now. All right, moving on. Dice roll challenge. Dice roll challenge. Let's make some money. I got the dice rolling. Today's number is $4. $4. Now, it's only $4, but don't think it's only $4. Like, put the emphasis differently. It's only $4. So move the $4. Don't think it's only $4, so I might as well just not do it. That money adds up fast. If you've been watching the show, you've already heard my story about accumulating $600 really quickly. You've already heard Reverend Melissa's show about accumulating $1,000 really quickly. Do it. Just move the $4. Be consistent with it. So today's number is 4. All right, and the reason we're doing this, once again, is to make sure that you have extra money to invest. Even if you're investing already, you will have this extra money to invest. So in Reverend Melissa's case, it made the difference between buying a fractional share of Tesla and buying a whole share, because that money was already set aside. It was already in place. So do it. Moving on. Morning Zen. So again, as you know, if you've been watching the show, you know that I've been reading the original 7-Day Mental Diet. The original, not to be confused with the one that I've been reading on my phone, which is really an entirely different book. It's really an entirely different book. The more I read this one, the more I see that one is an entirely different book. The people who have been following along with me must have been super confused. I know, Nan, you must have been super confused, because these books are entirely different. I'm going to stop saying it, but it's shocking how different they are. That said, I want to read something from today's morning reading. 2 things, actually. So this, for the people who have the book, this is page 17, first paragraph. Okay. You must be quite clear that what this scheme calls for is that you shall not entertain or dwell upon negative things. The reason I'm smiling is because the language is so different, right? I should have known that the one on Kindle wasn't the original from way long time ago, because the language sounds too modern in that version. He's talking about schemes. Did you catch that? They used the word scheme. Like, that's an old school usage. So I'm going to read the paragraph again. You must be quite clear that what this scheme calls for is that you shall not entertain or dwell upon negative things. Scheme, shall not dwell upon, right? It's got that old school vibe. But never mind the language. The point is, don't dwell upon negative thoughts. Don't dwell upon negative things, right? And two more things. Same page, 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph. In the middle of that paragraph, it says, negative thoughts will be given to you by other people. Negative thoughts will be given to you by other people. This reminds me of the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, who talks about people handing you poison. And he's talking about the same thing. People will give you negativity in whatever shape or form. Which, sidebar number 1 of today, here we go. Sidebar, even if you don't watch the news, people will hand you the negativity. All the worst parts of the news will be given to you. I know this from experience because I stopped watching the news a while ago, and people will still hand me the negativity. So apparently there was a shooting in New York recently. Must have had like 3 different people hit me up to tell me about this shooting in New York, even though I'm in Nashville, in Brooklyn, even though I live in Hell's Kitchen. Like, what? But that's the way it works. That's the way people's minds work. That's the way the association works. So for those of you who haven't given up on the news yet because you're scared you're going to miss something, you're not going to miss anything. I guarantee you people are going to bring it to your doorstep. So that's my sidebar done. Sidebar number 1, moving back. All right, so 7-day mental diet. I want to read one more thing. This paragraph is great. This is page 18, second to last paragraph. A perfect analogy is furnished by the case of a man who is sitting by an open fire when a red-hot cinder flies out and falls on his sleeve. If he knocks that cinder off at once, no harm is done. But if he allows it to rest on him for even a single moment under any pretense, the mischief is done. And it will be a troublesome task to repair that sleeve. So it is with a negative thought. So I won't read the whole paragraph again because it's kind of long, but you get the point. And I love the use of mischief, right? Again, the old school language. The mischief is done. So you're sitting at a fire, cinder falls on your sleeve, you knock it off immediately, no harm, no foul. But if you let it sit there, it's going to burn a hole in the sleeve and ultimately burn a hole in you, right? And then the mischief will be done. So I really appreciate this paragraph, which, by the way, does not exist in the Kindle version, because it helps us be gentle with ourselves. It's not about avoiding negative thoughts altogether. Put that out of your mind. It's not about not having the negative thoughts. It's about changing your reaction to the negative thoughts. People are going to hand you negative thoughts. People, as I just said, are texting me and letting me know about this shooting in Brooklyn. Things are going to land on you. Hot cinders are going to land on you all day, every day. You're going to think things. People are going to give you things. Just knock them off. Knock them off. Knock them all off, right? Knock them all off as quickly as possible so that they don't burn your clothes, so that they don't singe you. So this is great for me because sometimes I beat myself up about having negative thoughts to begin with. It's such a breath of fresh air to have that reminder that, yeah, you're going to have the thoughts. And yeah, people are going to bring you the negative thoughts. But don't dwell on them, though. Just don't dwell on them. Just knock them off. Keep them moving. Don't continue thinking about the shooting in Brooklyn or Googling it or trying to figure out what happened. Just knock it off your sleeve. Keep pressing. All right, so I hope that's helpful for someone out there, but it was definitely helpful for me. Again, that's page 18 of the 7-Day Mental Diet by Dr. Amy Fox. By the way, the original version is not broken up by day at all. It's just a continuous article, which is another difference between this version and the Kindle version. Okay, moving on. Let's get into some abundance. Okay, so let me put this up. Yeah, I know you must have been so confused. They're saying I was so confused. She actually thought she had the wrong book. Yeah, it is entirely different. I'm not going to go back down the rabbit hole, but I'm just saying I'm a little alarmed at how different it is. Like, as someone who has done this with The Science of Getting Rich, you have to pay homage to the person who did the book before. Like, have the text be there, and then you riff off of that on your own. But don't just leave stuff out. All right, that's the author in me speaking up. Okay, Ashe. Moving on. All right, so yes, I'm gonna put this up from Linda. Yeah, sometimes I slip into self-criticism without prompting from others. You have to be attentive to your thinking. We all do. We all have to be attentive. Ooh, let me rephrase that. We're all invited to be attentive to our thinking, because many people don't ever have that epiphany. And for me, it's very recent. It's only pandemic time that I'm realizing, oh, I have to be much more mindful of my thoughts. I have to guard my thoughts much better. What's that thing Rev Listen used to say? The watchman at the gate. I have to make the watchman at the gate much stronger and much more vigilant, because we just let ourselves off the hook all the time. Things we wouldn't let other people off the hook for, we let ourselves off the hook for. So yeah, be vigilant. All of us need to be vigilant with our thoughts. All right, so let's get into some abundance. Let's do the affirmation. You know the deal. If you've been watching the show, we're going to do it twice. Once for the words, second time for the feeling tone. Here we go. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. Sidebar, don't just read it here now. The reason I'm having you repeat the words so that you memorize them is so that you can repeat this out there in the world at other times, like maybe first thing in the morning when you wake up. Just a thought. All right, second time, once more with feeling. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. So by now, if you've been watching the show, you shouldn't even need to look at the screen. You should have the words in you. And the idea is to really emote, to feel the words. That's how you make it real to your subconscious. Your subconscious can't tell the difference. Okay, moving on. Here's my quick reminder. If you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. You must invest if you want to become wealthy. It's not optional. There's lots of information out there that positions it as optional. It's not if you want to become wealthy. If you don't want to become wealthy, you don't need to invest. But if you want to become wealthy, financially independent, you got to invest. Okay. So all that said, we've gotten back to where we left off yesterday. And I gave myself a little more time today because I just want to circle back to this and give it a little breath. So the Roth IRA and Sam's Club. So both of these came to me. Oh, actually, both of those things came to me through transcendental meditation. Shout out to transcendental meditation. If you haven't tried it yet, you might want to check it out. There is a cost. You have to pay to take the classes, but it's really helpful. And if you don't want to do that, you can commit yourself to meditating twice a day. Like the early morning meditation, for those of us in this space, that's something that a lot of us do. But that afternoon meditation, when you're resetting yourself during the day, that's the one that's really critical. Okay, that said, both the idea of Roth IRA and Sam's Club came to me through meditation. And the Roth IRA was something that the universe told me to do, and so I did it, and now I'm backtracking to study it. And there were some comments in the chat yesterday talking about, the pros and cons of it. I appreciate that, Ron. So what's interesting to me is that the things that are positioned out there in the world as negative are resonating as positive to me. So I started talking about this yesterday. For example, you are only allowed to put $6,000 or $7,000 a year into your Roth IRA. And I've heard some people talk about that as a limitation. What if you want to put more? And so speaking to my audience of artists and retirees, I think of it the other way. It gives you a goal. Because for those of us who have gotten off the porch and started playing in the yard of the stock market, oh, wait, no, new analogy, sorry. Those of us who have gone inside Sam's Club now and seen the vastness of the stock market, you know that it can be a little confusing. There's so much stuff. And some of it's dangerous, so you got to be careful. And it's just, there's so many options. There's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of stocks that you could buy. Right? So what I like about Roth is that it gives you rules and structure. And just walking around Sam's, as you know from real life, can just be overwhelming. It's just like sensory overload, especially the first couple times you go. It's like, wait, this is way too much going on, right? So I feel, or I have felt the same way about the stock market. There's just so many ways to play this one game. It's one game, I said this before, but there's a million ways to play it. So it's really like standing in Sam's, just trying to figure out what to do, what to check out with, right? So again, what I like about Roth is it gives you a sense of structure. It gives those of us artists and retirees who need a little structure because most of our life is kind of free time. It helps to ground it. So instead of thinking of the $6,000 or $7,000 limitation as a limit, you think of it as a goal. You get a Roth IRA, and now you have a goal. Your goal is to hit $6,000 or $7,000 per year. And so that inspires you to do math. Like, okay, so what is that per day? What is that per week? So if I get paid, then I could put X amount in. You know what I'm saying? Like it already inspires you to start thinking about how to accomplish the goal of getting the money in by the end of the year. So we're already at the end of Q1, right? So we're already in Q2, quarter 2 of the year. So if you, like me, get a Roth IRA now, then you've got the rest of the year to get up to your 6 or 7 grand, right? And so now that's a goal. And that will keep you from putting like $2 in, $4 in. Like it will inspire you to do more. It will inspire you to invest more because you're trying to hit that goal. So I like that aspect of it a lot, just in terms of the psychology. In terms of the logistics of it, so you're putting in dollars that have already been taxed. Like you're putting in money from your checking account, your savings account. That money theoretically has already been taxed. So once you put it in, when you pull it out, it won't be taxed again. This is different than other IRAs. Other IRAs, when you pull the money out, you take a tax hit. And this is an important consideration because if you start contributing to your IRA when you're making like $20,000 a year, but you pull it out much later and it's $1 million, you're going to get taxed at the higher tax bracket. You won't get taxed out of your $20,000 a year tax bracket. You're going to get taxed as a millionaire. So that's an important consideration too. You'll be in a higher tax bracket. So again, what I like about the Roth IRA is you're putting in dollars that have already been taxed. And so you won't take a hit unless you take it out early. Again, I like this parameter. So early, quote unquote, is 59 and a half years old, like 59, 60 years old. But you can continue to put money in past that time. And there's no penalty. Oh, and this is really interesting. This is the first time I've heard about this. So apparently, if you put $1,000 into the Roth IRA and it does well, and let's just say you double your money, now you've got $2,000. Your initial $1,000 in principal plus another $1,000 in dividends. Then you can take out your original $1,000. You can take it back out without any penalty, as long as you leave what you made in. That's pretty interesting. So it's got some flexible options. And mostly, though, what I like about it is the fact that it gives those of us who need structure and a goal, it's a nice place to do that, to give you structure and give you a goal. Now, the one caveat thus far, because I'm still studying, is that it was created by the government, which means the rules can change at any point. So when I was saying earlier this week that they might close the loophole on this, like that's a real thing. They can change the rules for the Roth IRA at any given point. It wasn't created by Fidelity or Vanguard or any of the financial institutions. It was created by the government. Like the other IRAs, they're all created by the government. So the rules can change. But as it stands right now, it seems like a really good place to structure your investment. Okay, one more thing about this. Once you put your money in, it's just like a savings account. Like if you just put money into your Roth IRA, it just sits there. It doesn't do anything until you invest it. And so this is why a lot of people are afraid of it, because it's self-directed. You have to tell the money where to go. But as we're learning on this show, back to my Sam's Club analogy, there are so many good, helpful, safer things to buy in Sam's. In other words, there's so many good things that you can buy with your money inside your Roth IRA and let it appreciate, let it accumulate in value. So we've talked about index funds, right? And obviously that's a great play. Warren Buffett talks about it a lot. I mean, I've talked about it a lot. And the one that I've talked about the most is the S&P 500. So just really briefly again, because I've talked about this so much, but you've got a single fund that gives you exposure to 500 of the largest companies in the United States. That's a steal. Any way you look at it. All of those companies have a market cap of at least $14 billion last time I checked. Minimum $14 billion times 500. Like buying into that at any level is a steal. Last time I checked, the shares were about $400 or $500. But again, that's like paying $1 per company to get in on that company's profits. And the S&P 500 pays a dividend. So not only does it appreciate in capital gains, but it pays a dividend. So there's that. Let me not go down that rabbit hole. This is my point. You could get an IRA, a Roth IRA, that has the goal of reaching $6,000 or $7,000 per year, right? That gives you structure. And put money in it. So you put your $6,000 in it and you've got to invest it. What you could do, I really like this idea, is buy the Dow. Now, if you've been watching the show, you know that I just discovered a week or so ago that the Dow, the great almighty Dow Jones Industrial Average that we hear so much about every day on the news, is only made up of 30 stocks. 30 stocks. That's incredible to me. And the stocks are inexpensive. They start at $40 per share. Come on. So this is my new play as of today. My play is for artists and retirees to give yourself some structure and a kind of relatively easy way to invest. Get a Roth IRA, right? Then start buying the components of the Dow to put inside the Roth. So that gives you a very clear structure. That means you're going to buy 30 stocks, 30 individual shares. Like, did I say that right? Yeah. One individual share of 30 different stocks. You can start at the least expensive one, which is what I just started doing last week. The first one was like $44. And then as you climb the ladder, as you get more comfortable, you will inevitably learn more about investing. You will inevitably find your comfort zone. You will inevitably learn this space, how to shop within Sam's Club in the process of acquiring these 30 stocks. So you've given yourself a structure vis-a-vis the Roth IRA. You've given yourself several goals, to fully fund it, $6,000 for the year. And you've given yourself what to buy within it, which is, again, has structure. Only 30 stocks. You start with the least expensive one, and you keep buying a single share, and you learn as you go. By the time you buy all 30 shares, you will know a lot more about investing than you will have known at the beginning. By the time you finish that, you'll be ready to do some other things. I really like this plan. I really like this. I'm going to do it myself. Maybe some of you will do it with me. But as you know, I now have an empty Roth IRA because the universe told me to open one. And as you know, I already started buying the Dow. So I'm going to put my Dow components that I have thus far into the Roth, and I'm going to keep acquiring the rest of all 30 of the Dow stocks. And there is an index fund that covers all 30 of the Dow stocks, but I'm going to save that for last, like a cherry on top. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so I already used up my time. I see I got some comments. I'll read these. Oh, I wanted to circle back to something you said yesterday, Linda, about the Amazon gift card and your husband. I'll tell that story tomorrow. All right, stay tuned for prayer time right now. And also stay tuned for Sit with Rev Melissa. Don't forget, Sit with Rev Melissa this week are the Facebook episodes that we did before the New Thought Media Network. So they're only 3 to 4 to 5 minutes long. There is no intro. So you need to be watching at 10:29. There's no buffer time. So for those of you that missed it, all right, just watch the replay. All right, I'll see you over there in a few. Until then, keep doing, be a hero, be your own financial hero. And remember that now is better than perfect in terms of investing. Invest today. Later.